Bonjour and welcome to Creative Cooking. My name is Nicole Braxton and I'm super excited to be with you here today. Some of the dishes we'll be making are carrot brownies, a strawberry glaze, a mango smoothie, and a Doux crepe. And before we get started into all these delicious meals and different recipes, I want to share with you something that's really keen to me and is really special to my heart. When it comes to cooking, I love to mix different things and try out what works well and to be creative. And also, when I'm cooking for people, I always like to lean upon God. For me, that's really important because at the end of the day, He knows best. He created all my taste buds. So when I was preparing for, all these different recipes, this song came to me and I want to share it with you. And I'm going to share it right now. So another thing that is important to me besides cooking is also singing. I love to sing. So I'm going to sing a song to you that inspires me when I'm in the kitchen. Santo Espíritu, te invito aquí, inundamos llena la atmósfera, tu gloria es lo que anhelamos hoy, y Sergio damos de tu presencia. Essentially, that song is welcoming the Holy Spirit into our lives. So for me, when I cook, I like to welcome the Holy Spirit along with me. So let's get into cooking. Let's make our delicious carrot brownies. But before we do, I have a really close friend that's here with me. Jason, will you come join me? Good to see you.
Good to see you. So, I have to be honest with you. I've been watching you on Creative Cooking. I've been seeing all these wonderful recipes being made. I've tried the food. I love the food, which surprised me because my diet is a little bit different. But I was very surprised. So I'm excited to jump into whatever we're going to be making today. What are we going to be making today?
So we'll be making carrot brownies, and the ingredients for that include 4 cups of honey, 2 cups of vegan butter, 4½ cups of applesauce, 1½ cups of wheat flour, and 1½ cups of all-purpose flour, 1 1/3 cup of carrot powder, 1 tablespoon of Roma coffee substitute, 1 to 2 teaspoons of salt to taste, 2 tablespoons of non-aluminum baking powder, and 2 cups of carob chips.
Wow, that sounds like a power-packed dessert.
Yes.
Now, how much does this recipe yield, though?
Yes, so this is a really good recipe because it is great for groups.
Okay.
When making it, you can make around 20 to 30 different brownies. So remember, with quantity, this is a really good recipe for groups. 20
to 30?
Yeah.
Or you can have a lot of leftovers.
Or you can have a lot of leftovers, if you have that
plan.
sweet tooth. So to get us started, we'll first put our dry ingredients together. So if you can take the carrot powder and put it in the mixing bowl.
Okay. There we go.
Okay. And then if you can take the flour.
All right.
As well as the whole wheat flour.
You know what? This is really good too because I'm not really that great with baking like that. I can cook at home. Yes. But the whole baking thing is not really my strong suit, so I'm happy to be learning.
You know what I like? This recipe is really good to help have a good base. So then when you go home, it's easy to make. So this is going to be a good one. Right. And while you stir this up, I'm going to melt some of the vegan butter. Alrighty. Now, in general, when it comes to desserts, the absolute best desserts come directly from nature. But if we do decide that we want to bake something like a brownie like we're doing today, this is a good vegan recipe.
Nice.
All right, so just letting this.
And I am making a mess over here while I'm stirring.
You're doing good. So as you're mixing, essentially you're making it so that all the different dry ingredients come together. Okay. And so when you put a liquid with it, sometimes it'll clump up. So for example, have you ever had something that tastes like chalky?
Yeah,
Okay.
almost like when you make a roux.
Yes.
How that clumps.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Gotcha.
So that will clump up. So now our vegan butter is done.
Lovely, lovely.
All right, so now we're gonna combine our liquid ingredients in a separate bowl.
Okay.
So what I found is applesauce is a really good binder for ingredients. When you do like baking, it really puts it together, keeps it moist, and has a good texture. So if you can pour this in here, tell me.
I've got an interesting story
Tell me.
to do with applesauce.
Okay.
So when I was a kid, and you know, coming up, my mom, she's very healthy.
Okay,
Okay.
that's awesome.
So what she used to love to do was put herbs and supplements in the applesauce and mix it around.
Oh,
so
wow.
so that I would eat it and I would get those supplements and all of that. So I wasn't really a huge fan of applesauce when I was a kid. My cousins, they used to call my mom Aunt Evie, and they still call her Aunt Evie, but they would say, no more applesauce, Evie. Like, they didn't want any applesauce because they were terrified because they knew that it took on like a brownish
Oh, wow.
color.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had it in a really medicinal way, all the properties of all the health stuff she put in there was, okay. So it wasn't applesauce. It was a little different than that.
Applesauce with a healthy, super healthy twist. But this is actually going to end up being a little brown too. But
Yeah, we mixed it
a
in.
different kind of brown. So
Yeah.
what do we do next?
So now we're gonna pour our vegan butter inside. Also, to replace any sugar, you can put some honey.
Okay.
So if you'll just,
Yeah, that's
Hold
going to be
that.
a little sticky.
there we go.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
There it is.
Loving it.
All right, so, okay.
All right.
Now we'll stir this up.
And I'm going to put these back here.
Okay,
This help
thank you.
Ray. You're welcome.
Can you smell this?
Wow.
I know,
It
I'm
smells
excited.
delicious.
So now what we're gonna do, you're gonna add the Crêpe chips in there as well.
Okay, dry with dry.
And then you will add a little salt to taste.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
But this is a big group. This
yeah,
is a big
yeah,
group.
it's a big group.
It's a big group. It's
That's
for a
right.
big group. And then
A little heavy-handed.
you add a little bit of baking powder
Okay.
without aluminum.
All right. Yeah, we definitely don't want that. You know, I heard that aluminum can cause Alzheimer's.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard
It's
that it can
not
cause-
healthy for the body at all. That's for sure.
Yes. So let me get my mix on over here while you're doing that. I'll be
Okay.
productive.
All right,
Doing
so
that.
now, so I'm doing the same thing with the liquids. I just want to make sure it doesn't have clumps, so it doesn't taste like applesauce on one bite, vegan butter on the other.
So like a smooth consistency.
Exactly,
Nice.
exactly. So when you have brownies, what are your favorite kind of brownies?
Well, let's just put it this way.
Tell me.
I'm happy to be trying these type of
Okay,
brownies because
okay.
you're using carob instead of the chocolate.
Nice.
And all of that. I'm looking
Okay.
forward to testing this flavor out.
All right, well, we've got our liquids done. So now I'm going to pour it in. If you can continue to stir.
I can do that.
All righty. There we go. See, now it's all combining.
Oh, this is really reminding me of my childhood right now.
This will taste a little different. It'll definitely appease your sweet tooth.
We better hurry up and get this thing baked before my mom tries to come in and put some herbs in it.
One of the things I also like about this mixture, I've added other things if I wanted to have a different taste. Let's say if I want peanut butter brownies. I can add some peanut butter in this and the base, and then it has its own taste. It's delicious. It still combines with the carob and the applesauce.
Nice.
So this is a really great thing you can do to be creative. Just add a little something extra to meet your taste.
And how convenient, because you are on Creative Cooking.
I know. Ding, 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 ding. All right, so then that just You just keep stirring that until it becomes like a nice mixture.
Okay.
And if you decide that you would like to add a little more liquid, I would recommend like water. That's a good thing to add.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just gonna add a little water to make sure everything's mixing well. Okay.
This is definitely the part that I don't want to make a mess on. Because I do have to go to a little meeting after this.
Alrighty. So I'll get the pan ready while you're doing that.
All right. Make sure I get all that powder, those dry ingredients.
That looks beautiful.
Yes. Uh-oh.
Hey, I see a little
That's
clump
a
there.
little dry under there. Let's mix that around.
And if you want, I usually mix with a spoon like you're doing. And also you can use a blender. That's you know, I'm old school, just using my hands, but you can also use a blender. So you can do that when you're making
I can see that just like flying all over the wall.
Yeah, basically.
One of those mixers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's happened to me before. So, you know, I choose a spoon.
You learn by experience, trial and error. All right.
Yep, so that's perfect. So now what we'll do, I'll just give it one more mix. That's
Okay.
awesome. Then now if you hold the bowl, we'll just pour this in. Alrighty. Okay,
Loving it.
there it is.
All
And
right.
then we'll spread it, just like flatten it out.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Do we want to put a little more, or are we gonna make it like super thick, or?
This will be one batch, since it's just, you know, a few people will be eating it. We won't do the big group, so we'll just do one batch. But you can always, what you can do with any extra batter, if it's too much, you can also put it into cupcakes, and you can have it for later. And so we'll put this in the oven, and it'll be good. So hopefully you can try it soon.
Sounds good. I will. I have to run,
Yep.
but please save me a plate.
Will do.
Of everything that you make. I'll see you later. Thank you for the lesson in cooking and baking.
You're welcome.
All
All right, take care. Alrighty, so I'm gonna put these brownies in the oven, get ready for our next recipe. All right, while those are baking, let's get started on our next recipe. And the ingredients for our next recipe include 1 bag of strawberries, 1 tablespoon of vegan butter, and 1 tablespoon of honey. This will make our delicious strawberry glaze. Now, when it comes to our strawberry glaze, I really like it because strawberries are a great source of antioxidants, and I like to mix it up for our glaze. And what we're going to do is take a saucepan, take a little bit of vegan butter. You can also utilize water if you like to replace it. Then we'll take some strawberries, which is it makes about 8 ounces to 1 cup of strawberries. When you have your bag of strawberries, you want 8 ounces to 1 cup. Then you're gonna put it inside of the saucepan. The smell of these strawberries is amazing. Awesome. So we're just gonna keep stirring it. All right. Now, as we're stirring it and letting all of these ingredients melt, I'm gonna put a little honey to taste and sweeten it just a bit. Okay. So I will just keep tossing it in my saucepan. Wow, the smell is amazing. So basically you can see that we have strawberries right here, and they're just all coming together. The juice from the strawberries coming out. We have a little bit of honey in there and some vegan butter. And then at home, if you like to use water, you can do that as well. So just let it mix. Okay. That is good. Next, we will put it in a blender to make a good glaze. So take it off the fire, put it in our blender, just pour it in, And now we will blend it. Awesome. So with all of my sauces, I like to give it just a little taste. So for this glaze, I'm just going to test it and see if it's what I like. That's good. Really, really good. This is a great topping for different desserts. You can put it on top of the brownies, and when it's finished, it'll look something like this. So for our next recipe, we will be doing a mango smoothie. This recipe includes 1 ounce of spinach, a half banana, 2/3 to 3/4 cups of mango pieces, 2/3 cups of water, and ice as needed. So let's get started. We will begin by taking the mango and putting it in our blender. Next, we'll put some yummy spinach inside. You can use frozen or fresh. Now, I'm going to cut a banana in half. And one thing I want to tell you is when it comes to cutting, since I have this in my hand already, it's really important to know the sharper your knife, oddly enough, the sharper your knife is, the better you'll be able to cut and the less dangerous it is. So for example, if you have a dull knife and you're cutting, it can wobble around and it makes you more likely to cut yourself than if you have a sharp knife because you have more grip and control. So you want to make sure if you're cutting with like a chef's knife or any type of knife, you want to make sure it's sharp, and you also want to be careful. So for example, this doesn't have a dull blade. You don't want to cut with a dull blade. So we're just going to cut our banana in half. Also, when taking care of your knife, it's important to not throw it in the dishwasher to clean it because it makes the knife dull. You want to rinse off your knife with cold water so it doesn't take away the sharpness from the knife. So that's a good fun tip for you to know when you're at home and you're cooking. You want to have a sharp knife, not a dull knife, and you also want to be careful when you cut. All right, so we have this banana and we'll throw this into our smoothie. Next, we'll put some agua, some water in here. Alrighty, and then we'll put some ice cubes as well. I like this dish and the smoothie because it's so fresh. I like the mangoes, the bananas, and the spinach. All right, so now we're just going to blend it up. The great thing that I like about this smoothie has a nice green color, which to me symbolizes the different nutrients I'm about to receive from this delicious smoothie. All right, it's time to do one of my favorite things, which is tasting it out and see how it is. I love smoothies. That's good. I really like that. It's fresh, it's not too sweet. And if at home when making it, if you'd like to add a little sweetness to it, you could add some more fruit, or you could add a little bit of honey just to sweeten it up, but this is great for me, so enjoy. This brings us to our next recipe, which is our Doux Crêpe. And the filling ingredients include a half cup of full dates or paste, a half cup of cashew butter, a 1/4 cup of carob powder, honey to taste, and salt to taste. For the crepe ingredients, it includes 1 cup of soy milk, 3/4 cups of water, 1 cup of flour, 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, 1 tablespoon of vegan butter, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, less than 1 teaspoon of salt to taste, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 1 teaspoon of ground chia seeds, fresh fruit, and you will need a stainless skillet. Now let's get started. For our filling, what we're going to do, we will take some dates, which I really like. They're sweet, and I like the texture of them as well. You can get them at your local grocery store or health food store. Now we're going to also put in our cashew butter. Okay. Next, we'll put some coconut oil. Some honey. And then we will also add some carob powder. Okay, so now we're going to let it blend. We can add a little bit of water if you like to help it blend better. It's up to you. How thick you want your filling is all up to you. So if you like it thick, then you don't need to add water. If you would like it to be a little bit more liquid, to have more liquid, then you'll add some water. So let's get started. We'll blend this. All right, so we've blended up everything, and now the dates are really thick, so this will be a very thick filler. So when you're done, you'll just fill your crepe with it. And let's get started on our crepe mixture. Now for this, we will take our flour. We will add our milk. Some vanilla to taste. Chia seeds, and another great thing about chia seeds is they're full of fiber. So when eating them, it really acts like a broom within your system. It helps get rid of toxins and things that your body does not need. So having fiber in your diet is really good and nutritious. It's a really good, healthy thing to do. And essentially when we eat, we can actually be preventative for future things that could come. So desserts, you can have it every once in a while. So if you only have one show of this, you can have desserts every once in a while. But when you are eating, it's really important to know that what we eat can also impact us in a positive way. So eating plant-based foods is something that I found to be really helpful. So now we're going to put some chia seeds in here. And you can put a little salt to taste. Then we will mix. And let all the ingredients come together. Alrighty, and you can add some water as well. I really like this mixture because you can use it for many things. You can make something savory out of it. You can also make the dessert out of it like we're doing now. The key to this is giving it some time to sit. And you can put it in your refrigerator for, a couple minutes, like 30 minutes or 2 hours. And you just want it to give it a chance to combine and become one. You can put a little more water in there. And this is where you can get creative when you're making your crepes. You can fill it with whatever you like. So this is the filler for the crepe. It has the chia seeds inside, and it's full of fiber with the chia seeds, which I like. All right, so now we're gonna turn on our stove. You can have, like, if you have a non-stick pan, that's great, or you can put a little bit of water, something on the base so it doesn't stick. Then you'll get ready to pour your mixture. So remember, when you make this, you want to make sure you let it sit in the refrigerator for 30 minutes to an hour or two, if possible. So after it sits, you will pour your mixture into your pan. And essentially, a crepe is a very thin pancake. So you just want to allow it to fill and spread out in your skillet. And then you'll let it cook on each side for 2 to 3 minutes and flip it. And when you're done, you'll fill it with your favorite fruit, such as pineapples, you have strawberries, oranges, and then you'll top it off with our delicious carob filling. So that's essentially how you make your crepe, your Doux crepe. So thank you so much for cooking with us. We've made a lot today. Let's look at what we've made. We made a delicious brownie. We topped it off with some walnuts, and you at home, you can also top it off with some strawberry glaze. All you do is just pour it on top. We also made a mango smoothie and a Doux crepe. These are unique desserts you have to try. And ultimately, it's been a pleasure cooking with you. If you'd like to support my nonprofit ministry, you can find us at aroundtheworldin7days.com. Again, that's aroundtheworldin7days.com. May God continue to bless you in your health journey. Take care.